of the guests and are not necessary. The views and opinions of the guests on the Wyleaner Show are those of the guests and are not necessarily the views and opinions of the hostess Wyleaner and or her co-host.
She's always dealing with reality. When love she is she knows that we are down will make you grow. I want to find out what you need to know. The planning is going now. Ever needs to run. I'm not saying the one show.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? What's going on out there? How's everybody doing today? I am so excited. Oh, I'm excited to be back, and I am so looking forward to what's going to be going on today. I just want to welcome everybody back. Y'all know who I am. I'm Wyleaner, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel, and y'all know what show this is. This is the Wyleaner Show, and this is where the river meets the road. And if I tell you, I am excited to be back with you again today, and I want to welcome everybody back. I want to welcome all of my fans back, all of my Facebook fans, my Twitter fans, my listeners and my viewers, everyone who is watching out there on YouTube, and everyone who is logged in and watching on WyleanerTVShow.com. I am excited that you are back with me again today, and y'all know what? It is gonna be the bomb. Okay, and listen, I want to just tell you, I always have to give you that second disclaimer. Okay, this is a very serious show. This is a hard-hitting show, and you may want to think long and hard to see if you can cope with the information that is about to be released right here on this show. Just keep in mind, everyone, this is to educate you. The Wyleaner Show makes the rubber meet the road, and that means that I bring it, okay? Accept this information. You need to accept this information if you want to, and if you don't, keep in mind it is your decision for you, not mine for you, okay? And I just want to let you guys know, everybody, if you didn't tune in last week, today's topic is prayer, marriage, and leadership roles of the husband and wife. Who leads out in your marriage? Oh, inquiring minds really want to know. And this is part 3, everybody. This is the final cut. This is the final cut. And I'm looking forward to what we're getting ready to share with you again today. But listen, before we go into that, I want you to make sure that you shoot me an email. Okay, shoot me an email with your topics and your comments and your suggestions for shows and that type of thing. And if you want to be a guest on the show, same rule applies. Shoot me an email and let me know you'd like to be a guest on the show and what the topic is that you'd like to discuss right here on Wyleaner TV Show. Shoot me an email at WyleanerTVShow@AOL.com. That's WyleanerTVShow@AOL.com. Okay, and friend me on Facebook if you will. Please do that. Friend me on Facebook, and please, 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 please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you will. I greatly appreciate all subscribers, okay? Because that lets you know exactly when the Wyleaner Show is coming on and what it's going to be talking about and all that kind of good stuff. You'll be in the loop instead of outside the loop, okay? And so, listen, the phone lines will be open shortly. We're going to have the phone lines open today. And when you call in, the phone number is 702-850-5580. That's 702-850-5580. And when you call in, make sure that you mute your speakers when you call in because we don't want to get the feedback and all that. So mute your speakers, talk on the phone, and when you get done, hang up and take your answer off the air. Okay, and don't be rude, like I always tell you when you call in. Don't be rude to me or my guests, because you know what I'll do. I'll introduce you to what I call a brand new collect, and that's hang up the phone on you. Okay. So listen, don't leave a message because if the line is busy, just hang up and try to call back again. Okay, if you will, please do that for us. All right, and don't leave a message because we're not checking messages. Just keep trying to call in until you get in. And I have my guest back with me today, and he is Brother Renaldo Wade. And Brother Renaldo Wade, I tell you the truth, Brother Renaldo Wade kicked in last week at the last minute, and I told him, I said, Brother Renaldo Wade, you are the bomb. You are the bomb. And he kicked into the Wildina show, and I mean, he brought it too. I tell you the truth, I was like, whew, I didn't know he was going to come at us like he did. And he came at us so tough last week. I had to change my slogan, y'all. Now, y'all know the Wildina show is where the rubber meets the road. But last week, the rubber met the sheets. If I gotta say so myself, the rubber met the sheets last week, and it was off the chain. And I'm excited that I have my guest back with me again today. Brother Ronaldo Wade is with me, and I tell you, we've got some information on to share with you today, and we are going to be talking about the marriage situation. I don't know what your situation is in marriage, but we're going to be talking about it right here on the Wildina Show. All right, so listen, I want to ask you, if you will, before I reintroduce my guest, I want to ask you, if you will, please make a donation to my show, okay? Make a donation to my show. Log on, or if you're right here on WildinaTVShow.com, click the pay button right up at the top of the screen there, and and you will see the little drop down, and you can just choose however much you would like to contribute to help the Wildina show continue to go on and help us with the marketing of the show and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so please, please, please make your donation, make your contribution to the show. Any contribution is welcome. I don't care how much it is, just make sure that you just make a contribution. I ask you to do that because we really do need your help, to keep things going. And that's it. That's all, So I could run a commercial, but that's my spiel. Okay, that's my commercial spiel right there. All right. So listen, I want to welcome back to the show, Brother Renaldo Wade, and I just want to see what is going on with Brother Renaldo Wade and see if he is ready for the rubber to meet the sheets. Brother Wade, are you with me? How are you doing? And welcome back to the Wildina Show. How you doing, Brother Wade?
I am doing great. Thank you so much, Miss Wildina, for having me back on. Last week was a very, if you will, it was very testy, but yet we got through it. And I'm just grateful to be back here again to discuss more about relationships and marriages. Thank you so much.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Brother Wade, and thank you for joining us again today. Joining me again today, I greatly appreciate you, and I know you got something to share with us because you do a lot of studies, and you deep down digging in some stuff that most folks don't dig into. So it's pretty deep, the stuff that you be studying. My hair be raising up on the back of my neck sometime. When I when I hear some of the stuff you be telling folks, I'm like, whoa, what? Okay. So listen, Brother Wade, we're gonna start out the show. Now, last week I ended with a question asking you about submission, about what did the word submission mean and that type of thing. But I want to start the show out today because during the course of the week, we had quite a few comments on the show, and on my YouTube channel, a lot of people made a lot of comments, and so But I think there was one comment that was really it was pretty long. I mean the lady she writes books, so she wrote a book. She literally wrote a book on the Wildita Show, right there on my YouTube channel page. Okay, and so, Brother Wade, it was about you. A lot of it was about you, and so I'm hoping that you had the opportunity to read that comment. Among the other comments, there was a lot of comments, but this one was one that just basically just really stood out. So I. Oh, y'all know how I am. I just crack myself up on my show because I love doing the Wildita Show. And plus, I love Mrs. Wildita too. So y'all know how that is. I just have myself a ball when I do this show. I can't help it. Anyway, Brother Wade, I want you to talk to us about the comment that one of my viewers stated on the YouTube page. One of my viewers that watched the show, she had something. So would you, if you had the opportunity to read that comment, would you please elaborate? Because I'm sure, she would probably like to hear your feedback on what her comment was. Go right ahead, Brother Wade.
Okay. Once again, thank you so much for inviting me to the show. I did go back and review what was said. I usually do that with some of the work that I do when it's done through video. I go back and I go look at it and even look at the feedback of some, of what some of the viewers might have stated pertaining to the topic at hand and how I was able to handle that to the best of my ability. And that's what it is. We handle things when we discuss these type of things. It's just done to the best of our ability. And it is the responsibility of the hearer to have a filter to understand what is truth, what is fantasy, what is reality, what is mumbo jumbo, if you will. So people have their own basic opinions, and opinions, or somebody who is opinionated, really doesn't tell the truth whatsoever. So an opinion can be truth, but an opinion is just basically coming from, from your perspective. One of the people that viewed it, and I'm grateful that she did. She stated that that we were brave for having this type of discussion, and that people are thinking critically through religion, and there is a difference between religious and being spiritual. There's a big difference, because when you're dealing with people who are religious, they're so locked in within the box, because that's what religion does. Religion locks an individual, within a box, and they won't be able to be free, as opposed to how spirituality really is. So the particular viewer has stated that, quote unquote, that for me to say that the Torah, which is the instructions and the teachings of the Most High that you read from Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, she was saying that for me to call that, quote unquote, religious truth, that I am suffering from spiritual utopia now, or spiritual phobia, if you will. And when you talk about, and this is why we have to be careful when we read books, and you have to understand, okay, what are the things that are reality and those things that are fiction? And that's why in your library, you do have these things that are history, you got fact, you got fiction. Even some of the history books are fiction, but they won't tell you that. You see? So everything has to be based on reality. And that's the thing that I tried to bring forth, reality from a spiritual perspective. So I don't go around and say, hey, guys, you know what? I'm going to hit you over the head with the Bible. This is the only answer that you're going to get. If you don't do the Bible, then guess what? Then, you're going to burn in hell or something like that. That's not where I'm coming from. When we look at, because she asked the question, what universe is still acceptable to say that the man has the final authority in a marriage. When you look at it from a natural and spiritual perspective, when a woman leads the marriage and the husband falls back, that is unnatural for a man to do that. The man is the hunter. The woman is the hunted. That's how it starts in a marriage anyway. So just to go ahead and just clarify that, and she was talking about other universes where they do this in other universes. We're not worried about other universes, out there. We're not worried about other planets and how they do things. The topic is about relationships and marriages here on Earth. Okay. And we could be so spiritually out there that we're no earthly good. So we have to do things to speak to humanity that will help humanity. And that is the thing that I was bringing forth. And I'm so glad we're talking about it. So I'm not really, quote unquote, speaking negative about her terms. What I'm saying is basically is that based on the particular knowledge that I have and based on what is reality, and I'm talking about in the household structure, the way that our Creator has did it, is that the man should be providing, protecting, and also he should be the filter between his family and the outside world to teach the wife and the children what to expect and what not to expect. It's just order. And it doesn't make the woman lesser than a man. As I stated on the show last week, we are equal, but we're not the same. The woman, the wife, she has responsibilities in the household as well. So it's just that with the man, do indeed, he's supposed to be the stronger because he is to protect the household. When the man is gone to hunt, then the woman does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope the lady was listening. I hope she's listening today. And if she's not listening, I'm sure she'll go back and listen to the, and pick up on what you had to say. And she might leave another long comment. You never know. Anyway, that's how the rubber meets the road on the Juanita Show. We give people the opportunity to bust a move and say what they have to say. And so that was great. That's great, Brother Wade. Thank you for coming back and addressing the comments. I like it. I do like it when my guests that are on my show go and review any comments that were put on the show during the week that they're actually, during the time that they're actually a guest on the show, and then come back the following week and address those comments. That's great. So thank you so much, Brother Wade, for reviewing the comments. That was great. Okay, so listen, last week we ended and I was asking you about submission. And you gave us the definition of the word submission. And then I'm not sure if I got the opportunity to ask you if you would consider yourself to be submissive. Do you consider yourself to be submissive, Brother Wade?
Yes, I can be submissive. I could be submissive, in the marriage. I could be submissive. But when it comes to the male and the female as to what submission is, and I'm quite sure you're gonna ask me what is the difference, then being a man being submissive, it doesn't make him weak. It doesn't make him soft, as they would say in today's society. So, and I know we'll discuss that later, but yes, I am a submissive individual.
Okay. Thank you for that, Brother Wade. I just wanted to, I just wanted to hear you say it, because oftentimes, you can't get a man to say he's submissive. And so, but listen, we have a call on the line. Everybody listen, the phone lines are going to be open all day today, even though I have a million questions, y'all. I got a million questions lined up for this brother. We might have to extend the show a little bit if he don't mind. I'm not sure. I forgot to ask him if we can do a little extra time today. But anyway, I have a million questions. But listen, if you decide that you want to call in, the phone the phone number is 702-850-5580. That's 702-850-5580. And we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. And state your name and where you're calling from.
Elder Miller from North Carolina.
I thought I recognized the voice. Okay, Elder Miller from North Carolina. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm just doing absolutely marvelous out here trying to make the rubber meet the sheets.
Well, I'm going to let it meet the road. I'm going to just stay on that level.
Well, last week, you know, brother Elder Miller, you know, last week, Brother Wade made the rubber meet the sheets last week. So we had to get the rubber off the road and put it in the bedroom last week. I mean, it was crazy, man.
But, well, I will say he has started off on a good start today with doing that again. My comment this week is I agree with what Brother Wade said due to the fact that within our society, our young people have gotten roles reversed, where now you find more young women are willing to go out, have a career, start a family, and then invite the man in to be the so-called houseman. And with what Brother Wade said is the appropriate way that a man should leave his mother and father and create a home or an environment for a wife and children. And we got it backwards in America, where you find so many young women nowadays saying, I don't need a man to pay my bills, I can pay my own bills. And if you look at the Bible, where Israel was trying to get a wife, and he got a sister instead, and he really wanted Rebecca. I think it's Rebecca or Rachel. The two names are so. But at any rate, he worked an additional 7 years for the one woman he did one. And a lot of young women or young men would read that scripture and not get the significance that if you want something out of life, you're going to work for it. You're going to put forth an effort to have it. And Brother Wade definitely started the ball bouncing this week with telling the truth as it is. I understand young women want to usurp their independence. Nobody is trying to take away their independence, but they're also handicapping themselves with the independence that they're so eagerly trying to persuade everybody they've got. Now, I mean, it's everybody's own independent right to do what they choose, but if you actually want a husband, you can't get a husband by making him something else before he turns into a husband. If you're a woman and you're expecting a husband, you can't get a boyfriend from a husband. You've got to go out and prepare yourself to sit and wait for a husband to find a wife. Because the Bible says a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And in marriage, so many people are doing the opposite, that marriages are breaking up. So I agree with Brother Wade on this week. Brother Wade is kicking dirt and taking names. So North Carolina is with you.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, North Carolina.
You are so welcome.
All right.
Brother Wade, let me say this to you. You keep on smoking them sheets and smoking the road and doing what you're doing, because North Carolina's sitting back here burning. But we're understanding what you're talking about. We thank you. And North Carolina is out.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, and stay tuned. We got plenty coming for you.
Thank you.
Now listen, Brother Wade. Brother Wade, I'm not gonna let you keep on putting the rubber on the sheets, okay? I'm gonna let you take them sheets with you when you go, because we gotta put the rubber back on the road on the Waleed show. The rubber can't stay on the sheets from now on. Okay, well, that was a great compliment for you, Brother Wade, there from Elder Miller from North Carolina. You know he's a regular on the Waleed show, so you doing good, Brother Wade. If you got a compliment from Elder Miller, you can go and pat yourself on the back over there, Brother Wade, over there in Ohio. You got a compliment from North Carolina, so you're doing good. Okay, so I just asked you about thank you to the caller as well. I just asked you about yourself being submissive. So what makes you a wife submissive, Brother Wade? What makes a wife submissive?
And I just like to say this before I continue, that I've done marriage studies and family studies up in Madison, Wisconsin, at the at the University of Wisconsin. So I've done a lot of research pertaining to that. So I don't want people that's watching that okay, he just learned from a YouTube video or something like that, of that nature. So I've done the proper research for that, and also doing things in ministry, and really studying on the marriage and the family structure, because, I wanted to be married. And before I did that, I needed to study. And that's where, that's where we're coming at here. A woman is submissive, not being a slave in the kitchen, not, like Elder Miller said, that woman still can be independent. She can still bring her particular income, their income into the home. That's not the primary source of income. It should come from the husband, So a woman that is submissive is one who says, you know what? Okay, I know he's the head of the household. I know he's my protector and my provider. If that man cannot provide nor protect her, she won't be submissive. She won't be, because he must fill those roles. And that's what I was stating, that it's natural for a woman to be submissive to someone who can protect and provide for her and her children. Anything else is uncivilized. So we have to look at it from that perspective. And he must be able to teach his wife spiritual things. They got to be compatible. That's very important. And more importantly, and I think this is where today's society is failing at, about understanding the functionality of the family. Okay. They're messed up in that department. So this is how a woman can be submissive.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for that, Brother Wade. Because I'm gonna take you down the road here. So so just roll with me. Okay. So I wanted to get an answer to that question, Brother Wade, because there's so many relationships where that the man says, you need to be submissive, and he might be pointing his finger at her and saying, you need to be more submissive. And she's like, wait a minute now, what are you talking about? And so and then of course in a lot of under a lot of denominations and a lot of churches and under a lot of religions, they teach that the woman is supposed to be submissive. And it seems as though it's coming across as though the woman is supposed to just kind of, okay, whatever you say. Yes, honey. All right. That type of thing. Y'all see how I changed that right quick. So y'all know Walina is not that one. Okay, Kate B, because I got way too much going on over here in the mouth department. Anyway, so Brother Wade, I kill myself sometimes, y'all, doing this show. But anyway, that's the reason why I asked you that question, Brother Wade, because of the fact that a lot of the men and leaders in a lot of the religions teach that the woman should sort of be like, almost beneath his feet, sort of, kind of, sort of. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Next question is, Brother Wade, were you born and raised in the South, yes or no?
The answer is no. Born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Okay. So the reason why I asked you that question is, would you say that Southern men and women are a better catch than a city girl or a city guy? Now, I don't know if you know why I'm asking you that question, but I need you to give me an answer. Do you think that Southern men and women are better catch than a city guy or a city girl? And yes, if so, yes. If yes, why? And if no, why not? Please.
That's a very interesting question. It really is, because when I was younger, I was taught that, with my father coming from Mississippi and my mother coming from Memphis, Tennessee. So, we always would hear, about the catch from the South. If anybody was born below, quote unquote, the Bible Belt, then they will be a good catch. In today's society, it doesn't depend, it doesn't matter what region. You could find catching a good catch is being blessed indeed. So I used to believe that when I was younger, but now I can't really say, even though in the South they have more morals, it has more family structure back then in the South, especially amongst African Americans, because we needed to stick together. We needed to, because of things that was happening down in the South. And I don't want to get too much, that's a whole different topic. But family structure was very key, even when they migrated up north. And we had to look at that too. They still kept that family structure when they moved up north. So it's very, I can't even answer that question, all the way in. But I used to believe that the catch would come, from down south. But, it doesn't matter which region anymore.
Okay. 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 Thank you for that, Brother Wade, because, oftentimes you hear people say, you get you a good old Southern girl, a Southern gal, and you get you one of them good old Southern gals, and then you'll have it going on, because she gonna. And I think most of the time they kind of lean toward them Southern women is more submissive, and a little bit more obedient. But listen, we got a call on the line. Y'all know I'm a little troublemaker. Anyway, we got a call on the line. Let's see what the caller has to say. Hello, caller. How are you?
All right. This is Ellen Miller again.
Okay, Ellen Miller. What's up?
Okay. With again, with what Brother Wade was trying to convey to the audience about the relationships between men and women, we have too many people that love to test drive and like to kick the tires just to make sure it's going to be okay. But I don't understand anywhere in the Bible where you were ever told to test drive and kick the tires. And as far as the submission or not between the two sexes, you both are submissive in a way. Because if the man is really a man and a man of character, he's not going to pressure her to do something before the marriage. Any man that really wants a good woman and a good wife, he's looking for a woman that's going to make sure that he respects her as well as all other men respect her. And she's going to keep herself on a certain type of level. Now, this world is so different from when I was younger. When I was younger, you had some men that were willing to say, I'm gonna obtain this, I'm gonna obtain that. I want this kind of life and that kind of life. We no longer have that. And as far as it being from the north to the south, it's pretty much the same all over the country. People no longer value having a good individual in their lives. They want to have a fast situation going on. the evidence is we have dating shows that come on TV where one woman or one man has 25 or 28 people to pick from, and you got to kiss all of them to fish your way to where you're going to find love. We are deeply divided on what matrimony and unity between a man and woman is. You can't be unified with somebody if you're kissing this one and kissing that one and everybody's seeing what's going on, because eventually somebody's going to call somebody less than a Christian or less than a saint. So to be submissive means, I would think, for a woman or a man, is to have some respect about yourself and some morals as far as what you want out of life. Now, Brother Wade is on the right key with this thing, and I think a lot of people should give more thought, because it's true you get further with sugar than you do with vinegar, but you got to keep the sugar where it's safe, because flies and ants will come in and attack your sugar.
Okay.
That's just all I had to say.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Elder Miller from North Carolina. Thank you. Okay, Brother Wade, I'm sure you heard all of that. Okay. He had quite a bit to say there about, all of that. So anyway, listen, I'm moving on, okay, because like I said, I have a lot of questions for you, Brother Wade. Okay, so listen, Brother Wade, do you say that a man, now let's talk about the word obey. Obey. Now, we done heard that word where, so Brother Wade, do you say that a man should obey his wife, or does his wife have to obey him? Brother Wade.
Once again, see, submissiveness doesn't mean to obey. To submit does not mean obey. To submit means, and you were saying, do the man obey the wife?
And does the wife should the man obey the wife, or should the wife obey the man?
Once again, I feel that, number one, when it comes to the man submitting to the wife, as far as I am concerned, my wife will be able to bring forth her ideas to the table, because in marriage, there's the thing called communication, in which a lot of people, they forget. So that comes into being, like I said, you got to be compatible. You got to be able to eliminate confusion. Don't put your wife in a shell from a man's perspective, because the woman could have the right answer to the problem, to the question that's at hand in the household. So should the man obey the wife, even though we have also known from time in history that she is the quote unquote, weaker vessel? It doesn't, like I said, we are equal, but we're not the same. The husband should be able to listen to what the wife said, and then they come to an agreement as to what they should do. But the husband should not obey the wife. And I didn't read nowhere. And, people, you hear that in church, that the wife got to obey the husband. I ain't read that nowhere in scripture. I've read that wives are to submit themselves, but I did not read that the wife is supposed to obey. Even if you go back to Genesis with Adam and Eve, I didn't read that at all. Somebody got to show me that. I haven't seen that at all.
Okay. And that's the reason why I'm asking you that question, Brother Wade, because oftentimes it does come about, and especially in quote unquote religious settings, churches and that type of thing, they do state that the wife should obey her husband. And I thought that I heard, and I can't quote because I don't quote Bible scriptures, but I thought that it was stated that it was somewhere biblically speaking that a wife should obey her husband. And oftentimes you find that a lot of men in churches and religious settings tend to say the wife is supposed to obey. Uh, and of course, yes, they use submission and obey in the same, category, so to speak. So I can understand why you were answering my question with the word submission and obey, because they sort of tie the two of them together. I got your answer though. You're saying that you don't even know that that's biblical anywhere in the Bible that it states that a woman should obey the husband. That's what you're saying to me.
Right. It's not even in the Bible. It's not in
Okay.
there at all whatsoever.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I guess if anybody feels that it is, they can challenge you on that. Okay. So moving forward, thank you for that, Brother Wade. I want to say, so would you say that you should do what your wife asks you to do without making her feel that you don't have to, only because you the man? Did you get that? Did you get that, Brother Wade?
No, repeat the question, because you were
Okay,
saying about being a man.
okay,
Let's hear it.
okay. Let me say it again to you now. I said, would you say that you should that? Would you say that your wife should do, not your wife per se, but I'm just saying, would you say that the wife should do what you ask her to do without making her feel that? Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. Would you say that you should do what your wife asks you to do without making her feel that you don't have to, only because you the man?
Oh, wow.
You
Wow.
got me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you on this one. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I got
Go
this.
ahead. Go ahead.
Like I said, I really feel that, you know, and I'm just answer it straight from the hip from my perspective. I can't go into the Bible with this one. I feel that, once again, it goes back to communication. It goes back to what the situation is, and if the woman makes that suggestion, and I feel it's very selfish, really, and I feel it's a dishonor to the woman if the man says, I don't want to listen to you because I'm the man. I'm not going to do that because I'm the man. You see what I'm saying? So we have to, once again, that wife has to be able to understand her husband in order. And this is what we got to do. We got to be thinking people. We need to be critical thinkers as far as, okay, should I ask my husband this question? And I know he might, quote unquote, I think, because women, I feel women ask men questions even though they know the answer already. But I think women ask just to test him, to see if he says, I'm the man. You know what I mean? So I feel if there is an important question or anything that the wife may ask of her husband, it's got to be reasonable. Don't ask the man to jump off a bridge or nothing like that. Don't have him to do things that he's incapable of doing. And like I said, as far as the man saying, I'm not listening to you because I'm the man, I think that's very unselfish for that man to do so, to say something like that.
Okay. Thank you for that, Brother Wade. Brother Wade, are you married?
Oh man, I think you know the answer to that question. So you know the answer to that question.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So in other words, I'm just saying, you better make sure you explain these questions properly.
That's right. Yeah, I am. I am. I am. I am. Through experience, I am. Yes, ma'am.
You better explain these questions just right, Brother Wade, because you know the show gonna be over in a little while here. Okay, I just love having fun with you. Okay, so listen, should a husband, I was asking you about the southern guys and southern folks and stuff, and is that a better catch, that person? So I guess my next question would be, should a husband open all doors for his wife, with the exception of walking around the house, such as public places and always your car door, and they call that chivalry. So what do you say about that, Brother Wade? Come on
First
now,
of
talk
all,
to us.
first of all, chivalry is not dead. Okay, there are a few, and I feel these are morals of a gentleman, if you will, to open the doors so that it's just like I said, it's done out of courtesy, to respect the queen, if you will, to open the door to let her go, or walking on the right side of the road. If you are on the sidewalk. And even opening
Okay.
car doors. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely that type of guy. I'm definitely that.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that you're that, and so in other words, you're saying that you agree that that's how a man should be. That's how a man should treat his wife, in that fashion. Is that correct?
That's right. Just like a jewel, just like a precious diamond. You have to treat her as such.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Brother Wade. Appreciate hearing that. Okay. So do you believe that a woman should not work outside the home, Brother Wade? Yes or no?
Once again, it depends on the household situation. Um, you have men who have been trained properly by their parents how to be the provider, and the protector of the household. So the man would go out, and this is what we're lacking in today's society. Once again, I was talking about functionality, about how the man should go ahead and provide a income for his family. Now, I feel personally, this is how I feel. The woman should be a help meet to the husband, meaning that she should help meet
Okay.
the budget of the husband. So to answer that question, if she would like to, the husband should give her an option to do it. He shouldn't force her to, but he should give her an option, because a lot of women like to go outdoors. They like to be, with their sisterhood, and they like to work and things like that. And they were also trained to be independent. So, you know, don't stop her for what she has been, created to do.
Okay, okay. So I'm just trying to get whether or not you're saying that yes, the woman should, because there's a lot of men that feel that they don't want their wife to work outside of the household. They don't want their wife to go work, and then I know that a lot of those men may be men with a lot of money or whatever, and they got all the money that's needed to pay all the bills, and the wife don't necessarily need to go work outside the household. And so the husband might be saying, okay, well, I don't want you going out working, and so but then she still might want to go work. And some women want to work just so that they can make their own money to spend at the mall, and let him pay all the bills, and she want to go shopping, and I mean she want to go work so she can have her own little set of money over here that she can go shopping with, and she don't have to take from the money that he's bringing in to cover the household. So women have different reasons, I'm sure, for wanting to work, but that it has definitely been shown that oftentimes a lot of husbands refuse to allow their wife to go and work outside of the home. So that's the reason why I asked you that question, Brother Wade, is to find out what your take is on that. Okay, so listen, we have a caller on the line. Let's see what the caller has to say. Hello, caller. How are you? Hello, caller. How are you? Okay. I don't know if they hear us or not. Hello. Okay. I guess we lost them. All right. So I'm not sure. Hello, caller. How are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. State your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Sister Valencia Wade, and I'm calling from Ohio.
Okay. Sister Valencia from Ohio. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh boy. Okay, so Sister Valencia, what is your reason for calling today? I'm trying to keep my
I'm
composure here.
calling in to, okay, keep your composure, Marlena.
I'm trying.
I'm calling in to comment on the question, one of the questions that you asked about, I believe the woman being submissive and the man being submissive, and in today's society, that word submissive of submission, it kind of like knock women over the head with that word. And I truly believe the reason why so many, not just women, but men that are married have a problem with that word is because that word has a authority connected to it.
Yes.
And the authority that's connected to it is what's written in the word, in scripture, when it tells us the wives to be submissive to the husband. The reason why it's telling us that is because we have a role to play, just like, I don't want to say religion, but living according to the words of the Most High. He's setting up a structure, a foundation for family. So if we on earth know how to submit to authority, which is the man, whether women want to, receive that or not, that's how the Creator designed it to be.
Okay.
If we could submit to the husband, which the husband should already be submitted up under the Messiah, that connects us to the Creator, none of us in this world that are supposed to be living set apart will ever have any resentment towards that word. We would never look at the man as, oh, he's just leading us and we can't say nothing, we can't do nothing, we yes ma'am, we got to be careful what we say. That's not what that word stands for when we're living set apart. It teaches us how to live as a family on earth, that one day when we get into the heavens, we will know how to be a family because of our practices on earth. So that right there should really be more of a blessing to the set apart family than a resentment or curse. And that goes for man and woman. The man submits to the wife as well, not the wife being head of the man, because it's not the order of the Most High.
Okay.
But because he has a love for the Messiah and a love for kingdom, he submits to his wife because of who she is to the Father. So maybe if we learn our identity in truth, we learn and who we are to the Heavenly Father, we won't have a problem with playing our role in our marriages on earth. So many people look at marriage based on TV. That's so far-fetched. It's so far-fetched. I think we had a caller earlier, Elder Miller, and he said some of the things that I'm saying now. So many people want to play house over here and find out I don't want that one, and play house over here and I don't want that one. And that's pretty much why they can't submit, because they don't have the heart of the Creator. So until we have all of those things, we're going to always have a problem with the word submit. And like I said, submission is a beautiful thing when you are truly living a righteous, set apart life with the Creator.
Well, you just say that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Valencia in Ohio, for tuning in to the
Thank
Wild
you.
Leaders Show. I greatly appreciate you. Okay. Much love to you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Have a good one.
All right. Okay, listen. Okay, hello caller, how are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Will you state your name and where you're calling from, please?
My name is Eolis, and I'm calling from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All righty then, Las Vegas kicking in. Come on, kick in, Las Vegas. I love it when I get a caller from Las Vegas. That's what I'm talking about. So you are watching the show. You know what the topic is and what's going on. Well, state what you have to say in a question or a comment. What's up?
A comment.
Okay.
There are a couple of scriptures. That mention being obedient when it comes to a wife. One of them is in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34, and it says, "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted for them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law." And also in the book of Titus, in chapter 2, it also says there that women are to be obedient. The thing is, when it comes to being obedient, it's not necessarily to be under the thumb of a man. What it says to be obedient to the law. So it's talking about to be obedient to God. So when you're obedient to God, basically you're showing respect and reverence, not just to God, but also showing respect to your husband. But the Bible also says that a man is supposed to love his wife as Christ loves the church. So that means that a man should love his wife in a way that he would lay down his life for his wife. The thing is, these days, we've gotten things so skewed because of feminism. Things have come along where basically the whole world is upside down, and with things going on the way they are, women feel, as the brother has said earlier, that they don't necessarily need a man. I mean, because that's the way a lot of people think these days. You know, they try to put the woman on a pedestal that necessarily God hasn't put her on. So when it comes down to it, basically, yes, we're supposed to love our wives. Our wives are supposed to show us reverence, but we are supposed to show love and respect to our wives also. But when it comes down to it, the man is still supposed to be the head of the household. And this happened all because of sin. It has nothing to do with a man wanting to be chauvinistic or anything like that. In some cases, yes, it will be. But a godly man knows that he is supposed to love his wife just as Christ loved the church.
The rubber meets the road. Oh, the rubber meets the road over here on the Wild Leaders Show in Las Vegas with a Las Vegas caller. I'm gonna tell you right now, brother. What'd you say your name was? I'm gonna call you Brother Las Vegas. Brother Eolis, boy.
And that other scripture was in chapter Titus, Titus 2 and Titus 2 and verse 5, I believe it was. So.
Okay. We got another caller, but I'm gonna you stay tuned. I'm gonna say something about you in a minute. You stay tuned. Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Hang up. Bye. Okay. Well, whoever's calling, you call in now. Oh, but that Las Vegas caller, he had me there for a minute, because boy, I tell you, my mouth was so stuck open I couldn't close. I couldn't close it, but he cleared it up. Oh, Brother Wade, I tell you what, Brother Wade, I gotta come over there to you right now, my brother. I gotta come over there to you, Brother Wade, because now you heard what he said. You heard what he said about the obey, and then he, basically calling you to the carpet on that, because Brother Wade just said it wasn't no, you didn't know about no scripture about obey and blase. So go ahead, Brother Wade, elaborate on that. We got another caller coming in. Go ahead, Brother Wade.
I'm so glad that you're giving me the opportunity to come back to elaborate on that, because in both cases, he took the particular verses out of context. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, Paul, the apostle, is writing to the Corinthians about the order as to how they should handle services in church or in their congregation. So during those times, the men will be separated from the women. And so as the particular teacher was teaching, the women would be trying to ask questions because they were less educated during that time. So it would disturb a disorder and a discord within the congregation. That is why, and you got to continue to read that, it says that let your women be silenced in the churches, not in the house. I don't see that. In the congregation. For it is not permitted for them to speak, for they are commanded to speak under obedience, as says also unto Torah. Now, it's so funny how Christians say they don't do the law, but then they want to do the law when it's time to control the wife or to control the woman or whatever. Now, read the next verse. It says, and if they learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. So it doesn't tell the husband or the wife to be silent at home. Once again, it was pertaining to congregational services, and the wife can't ask the husband at home. So that kills that, 1 Corinthians. Now, when it comes to Titus chapter 2, we understand that, especially in the New Testament, we see that these particular men that were rewriting the scriptures, they were macho men, if you will. They wanted to dominate the woman. The particular Greek word is hypotasso. It's the Greek word in that text for when it says, quote unquote, that the woman is to be obedient. That's not the term that Paul meant when he wrote that in Titus. The word hatasio means to arrange order. And it also means, watch this, to be submissive to one's control. Once again, and I'm so glad that Sister Valencia has spoke about submission. Submission and obedience is not the same thing. But if you look at it in today's society and in the English, you would think that they are. So that cancels that as well. That was a good try, though.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, the show's still on. We're still on air right now, y'all. So if you want to call back, and so but listen, we got a call on the line right now. So let's see who this caller is and what they have to say. Hello, caller. How are you?
All right, this is North Carolina calling back.
you know what?
I just want to say there was a misinterpretation. Because that brother said it was under the law that the wife should be obedient. But we are not under the law. We are under grace and truth. And what he said was misquoted, I guarantee. Brother Wade, you are on the money. You are on the money on this thing. Now, your caller that called in, that was not the rubber meeting the road. There was some road mess and road kill. When you mix up the scripture, you mess up a lot of people. The woman is not up under the law. If she is in Christ Jesus, if she is walking in the majesty of the word, she is under grace and truth in the New Testament. The New Testament is not under the law. It is under grace and truth. North Carolina is signing out. Be blessed in the Lord.
Well, okay then. You didn't give me that. Okay, thank you, North Carolina. Okay.
You're welcome.
Listen, y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna still say what I got to say. The rubber meets the road today on the Wiley Show. Okay. Well, I guess that the way this show goes, everybody, for those of you who may not know, the way this show goes is if you beg to differ, that's why the phone lines is open. You beg to differ. We can agree to disagree respectively here on the Wilena Show. So if you feel like whatever my guest is saying is wrong, you can call in and correct them on it. And of course you can call back if my guest say you wrong. It's all good. Anyway, you know the phone number 702-850-5580, 702-850-5580. Okay, so I'm moving on to I'm moving on to my next question because we seem like we got a little stuck right there. Uh, and so I'm gonna move on. Uh, what do you say, Brother Wade? What do you have to say about job types? Is there a man's job and a woman's job, or can either do whatever job they choose to do? You notice that oftentimes you hear people say, "Now that job is not for you. That is not for a woman to do." So, is there a distinguishing between jobs, or should a woman be able to just do whatever kind of job she want to do, man do whatever kind of job he want to do, or is there a division there? Is there a separation there, Brother Wade?
Wow, in today's society, it's almost to the point that it's confusing. You got women doing construction jobs, and then you have men who, do housekeeping at hotels, and we live in a dog eat dog society. It's get in where you fit in, and so me personally, I don't critique nor criticize if a woman want to do construction or if a woman want to, be a carpenter. I don't see any job descriptions at all as far as sex or gender is concerned. So according to society, you do have that, tradition of the woman shouldn't be doing this or the man shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, there are some strenuous jobs that women, you would just be amazed as to, wow, how they doing construction. But if that woman could do it, let her do it. So as for me, I don't see any constraint at all with a woman doing, that type of job. And I don't say that's a man's job. Like I said, household, that's different. The man should be the daddy. He should be in charge of the household. And the woman, I don't care where you working at as construction. When you come home, you the wife. Don't let it, be just because the woman does construction, she shouldn't feel like she got a reversal role in the household. Since I do construction, I'm the man of this house. She still wear the skirt when she come home.
Okay, Brother Wade. Who wear the pants? Okay, all right. Brother Wade. So should a man not wash dishes? Is that wrong for a man? A man shouldn't be washing dishes.
He better wash them dishes. I'm telling you, he better wash them dishes. Man, see, this is that equal opportunity employer type of thing. You know what I mean? The man should, hey, sometimes he might need to cook, and sometimes the woman, he might have to wash the dishes. So, I feel a man should, if, the woman has been working hard in that kitchen, give her a break. Let her step to the side and you wash the dishes. Y'all are a team. So it takes teamwork. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Brother Wade. Okay. Now listen, I'm going to go into a little bit about religion here. In most religions, and this might sort of stem off of what my Las Vegas caller was saying too, in a sense. I'm not sure. But of course, you can correct, you can state if it is, and he can also call back. Most religions teach against women pastors and even women preachers. Wouldn't you say that that is a man's job, Brother Wade? Explain.
I don't know why you're doing this on the Walina show. Oh man, you causing
Well,
fires.
wait a minute. Wait a minute, Brother Wade. Wait a minute. Before you get ready to ask that question, now look, this is the Walina show, man. This is the Walina show. The rubber's supposed to meet the road on the Walina show, and you know this. So go right ahead, Brother Wade. Answer my question.
You gonna put that stamp of approval on there, then come back. Answer the question. Wow. And I'm saying this in the belief that I have, the women can teach. She can do that. She can teach other women. Now, going back to Titus chapter 2. Now, it says that the women are to teach the younger women. So how are they going to do that? So the women can teach and preach, to younger women, okay? Now, as far as a woman running a particular church, because we're seeing that all over the country, they are more so into controlling men and dominating men. Some women, not all of them, but most of them that have churches like that want to control the man. They don't need a man, but yet and still you want us to be you want to pastor us as men. That's out of order. I totally feel that's out of order. But if a woman is going to shepherd other women, yeah, she should be able to do so. But her shepherding men and men coming up to her to say, hey, you know what? I want you to, to teach me, da-da-da-da-da. It might offend some people tonight, but a woman can always teach a man something by action. You know what I mean? But as far as, saying, okay, I'm your pastor, I never been under a female pastor. Never. And I won't do that. It's out of order in my perspective.
Okay. I want y'all to know the rubber's meeting the road on the Walina show today, and I don't know what it's going to do next week. But for now, it's meeting the road right here. Now that's a good one, Brother Wade. Okay, so basically what you're saying, Brother Wade, under your teaching and your belief that a woman should do something like women's ministry, women's seminars and women, women and children and that type of thing. But when it comes to being a leader over a church, and standing up in the church and preaching to the men and the women, you're saying a no to that. Right, Brother Wade?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. And I feel that's why, when you look at Christianity as a whole, it has a lot of holes and a lot of weaknesses in there because of that, because the women are becoming to be more dominant. That's what society is putting out there. And that's the propaganda that it is pushing for the woman to be dominant or more dominant than a man. And that right there, that is against divine order. That's against the structure of the household. Like I said, it kicks down the functionality of the household. Then when the husband and the wife comes home from church, then the man feels inferior because the woman is the pastor, and then the wife feels that she can run the household. A person can really suffer psychologically and mentally just by that. But a woman can teach, through action. Show that you're a queen, that you're submissive, that you are a virtuous woman. But you don't have to get up in the pulpit and yell and say, turn to your neighbor. That's not going to work because it don't show submission.
What'd you say? Say, turn to your neighbor. Okay, listen, we need the children to leave the room. If there's any children, we need the children to leave the room right now because we're getting ready to go into a topic now that we really, don't necessarily want to discuss in front of the children. Okay, and so, but before we start this topic, I have another caller on the line, so we want to take the caller. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hello, this is North Carolina.
Listen here, Elder Miller.
Let me say.
Listen here, Elder Miller. The show gonna be over in a minute. Go ahead.
Well, wait a minute.
I still got 20 questions.
Listen.
Go ahead, Brother Miller. Elder Miller.
I love your show. I really do.
Okay, I'm glad.
You know, we was riding real high there.
Uh-oh.
Before this last comment, because, listen, I believe in an equal opportunity God.
Equal opportunity what?
Can do it.
Wait.
Equal opportunity God.
God. Oh,
what He can do with me, what He can do with me, He can do with you. If He can put the word in me, He can put the word in you. I believe that if God calls you to preach, I believe you are anointed, qualified, and edified to do what God said do. Now, I don't think there's a man or a woman alive that can take down what God say. And anybody in this world that want to, excuse me, can say they don't believe a woman can tell a man. But in our own society, we have lived most of our lives with school teachers that were female that have told males and females what to do. We have women in our homes every day that tell males and females what to do. We have people that's in Congress right now that's telling people what to do. We had a woman run for president that was willing and able to tell people what to do. Now, if you're going to say God is less than any of that I mentioned, I don't know the God you serve. All I want to say is if a woman is good enough on this side of the street, she's the same good woman on the other side. Let's don't cut nobody short. God is real. God ain't looking at the sex. There's neither male nor female in Christ Jesus. Now, if you say it's Christ Jesus that you're talking about, maybe you don't have a real understanding of who He is. But let me say, if the woman that serves you a plate and fix you up some grits, she can also comfort your spiritual mind when you are down and out, when you need a word from the Lord. She can supply. If you think not, get sick. Need a woman to come by and touch you. Pray for you and believe God for you. Do it. I dare you. Now, North Carolina is settling down. And the rubber has definitely met the road and peeled off a few pieces. I found the day that I've seen some tire tracks left on the highway. I'm out.
Elder Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you preaching on the Walina show tonight?
Well, now, I just want to say that I'm going to stand up for the man that stood up for me. Okay. If He brought me out of darkness to the marvelous light, I ain't gonna let anybody feel like that this God is selfish on who He'll let love in His life. Hallelujah, amen, praise God, North Carolina, out.
Okay. Thank you, Elder Miller. Thank you very much, Elder Miller. We didn't mean to upset you.
You're welcome.
We didn't mean to upset Elder Miller. Seems like Elder Miller wanted to preach a little bit. Brother Wade, I got so many questions, man. And I can't keep you all night long. But Brother Wade, did you want to elaborate on what the caller just said, or do we move forward?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I do. I do, because there's a huge difference between preaching and teaching. Now, if he reads his Bible correctly, the word says that the Messiah went preaching and teaching to the masses. Okay, so the Messiah could do that, and the men that were after him, his disciples, they were preaching and teaching. Now, all women could preach. You could spread the good news. We saw that when Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, when they were at the tomb, and then they went back and they told the disciples. Okay, they went to tell the disciples what? That the Messiah had arisen, right? But they cannot teach the man. They can preach and say, you know, you need to come into the good news. But as far as teaching, she should not be doing that, because that's out of order. So you can spread the good news. He told everybody to do that. But as far as teaching, there are particular standard individuals who are men that should be teaching. That's why Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians, once again, 1 Corinthians 14, that the woman was to be silent in the congregation, and it is a shame for the woman to speak in the congregation. He could read that in verse number 35. Okay, so it's okay for the woman to teach, as it says in Titus chapter 2. She can teach other women and younger women and children, because that's her role in the household. But the woman cannot teach the man. That's like the wife trying to teach the husband how to run the house when he should already know. So, like I said, there is a confusion there in what Elder Miller was trying to say. Brother, I wasn't trying to say that they cannot preach. They can go and spread the good news, but they cannot teach. That's in Torah, that's in Old and New Covenant whatsoever. The Messiah never told the women that they can go preach, because if that was the case, he would have told women too. So there's a difference there between teaching and preaching.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Boy, I tell you, this show is doing more than I thought it was gonna do, y'all. I tell you, it really is. It's lighting a fire under some folks here today. And it's so good, because that's what the Juanita show's supposed to do, make the rubber meet the road. Now I asked for the children to leave the room. Y'all done had time to get them kids out of there. Okay, so does your wife, Brother Wade, I'm gonna try to run this as quickly as I can. Hopefully, I didn't want to go more than a half hour over, so because this is our last show. So, does the wife have the right to say no to her husband in the bedroom, Brother Wade?
Oh man, oh man, wow. Uh, oh man. See, this
Brother
is
Wade, Brother Wade,
tongue twisted right there.
Are you having a little trouble over there? Go ahead, Brother Wade. I'm gonna give you the flow now. It's yours. Take it.
Well, the word does say that the body of the wife or the woman belongs to the husband, and the body of the husband belongs to the wife. So, I mean, if she has a headache, or if she has something is wrong physically, the man should be submissive enough, and he should be humble enough to understand what she's going through. Now, if it becomes to be a repeated cycle, it is really time for a marriage counselor or some therapy of some sort. So at times she might, something might be real heavy on our mind, and the husband needs to talk to the wife about that, and he should be able to be understanding. But like I said, if it's a repeated cycle, they need to work on that. So it depends on the situation.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question, Brother Wade. Brother Wade, is it possible for a husband to rape his wife?
Yep, absolutely. I feel, and this is like one of those borderline, thin line type of things, because, we see that a lot in today's society, and we saw that a lot, even especially down in the South, after quote unquote, we were, you know, the African Americans was, you know, was free, as they would say. If that man forcibly, if he forces himself on his wife, and that's not love making. You understand what I'm saying? A man, if he loves his wife, he should be able to, you know, ease, you know, into the romance, and I think that's lacking. And I know you really haven't heard this side from me before, but you know, the husband should be able to, you know, to bring that woman into, you know, her trusting him, and you know, and he should lead her, you know, the proper way. If he's just coming in and he's, you know, taking advantage, and because that's what rape is. Rape is taking advantage of that woman. If that woman is saying no, and he takes it anyway, and he's not really, you know, taking, you know, her thoughts into consideration. By law, as they have, you know, that would be considered to be rape. But you know, as for me, I feel if I was in that situation, yeah, I would feel very guilty about that, you know, and I would think it would be rape. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Brother Wade, because I have heard, you know, and even like on the news and stuff, you know, I've heard where that husbands have raped their wives. And so it kind of makes you a little, you know, uh, unsettled as to, you know, how does a husband rape his wife, you know. But of course you just made it clear, you know, if he's forcing himself and she's not, you know, feeling it at that moment, you know, and he just gonna push his way on through anyway, then, you know, and she's steady saying no, 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 no. And so, okay, I got you. Listen, we have another caller on the line. Hello, caller, how are you?
All right. Jesus, help me, Lord.
You know what? Is this Elder Miller again? Because Elder Miller, I'm gonna block.
This is Elder Miller.
Elder Miller, I'm gonna have to block your call.
Listen. Jesus.
I'm gonna have to block, and Brother Wade, I'm gonna have to block Elder Miller's call. I can't ask none of my questions today. Go ahead, Elder Miller.
Okay, listen, children,
Okay.
Everybody wants the woman to be silent.
The children
you
left
want her
the room.
to be quiet, and wait a minute, wait. He said that she could go home and ask her husband. Okay. Now, if the husband in the same class she in, it's evident he ain't a bit more smarter than she is. So why should she go home and ask him? That's just like dumb acting dumb. Now, if the woman want to understand it, and God give her the understanding, and he gives her the meat of what the word is saying, who can take that from her? Not a man nowhere. Not a woman anywhere can take what God gives you from you. I know people don't find this topic easy that women can teach, but women got to teach men from the day they start walking to the day they die. A woman got to teach you how to be a young man respectable of women. A woman got to teach you how to talk to women. A woman got to teach you everything you learn once you learn how to talk to women, how to treat women when you get married. And a woman got to teach you once you get married how to be the good husband in your topic that you was talking about to her when she's at home. Now, you're saying, can a woman refuse a man? Yes, she can. The Bible says, Brother Wade said, that she is to render due benevolence to the husband, and the husband likewise to her. You're supposed to give yourself willingly. And as Brother Wade said, if there's a problem, then you should forgive and let it go. Because we are born non-sexual creatures. We live a long time before sex into a relationship. And I hate to think that any man or any woman anywhere marry anybody solely for sex. If that's all you had going for your relationship, you got married to the wrong person for the wrong reason. Now, if a woman or a man gets sick and can't provide you sex, then what? It's the God in you that allow you to go through that. It's the God in you that allow you to make life comfortable for your mate if they can't provide you what you want. It's the God in you that will let you see what truth is. I'm not trying to throw no rocks at nobody. I'm just saying, we come here as non-sexual beings for the majority of our childhood, until our young adulthood, until we take a spouse. Sex is not the reason most men marry a woman, because most men can have sex with a hole and be content as they want to be. And they will walk away from said hole and not think a thing about it. But the thing that make a man marry a woman is the thing that he can't put his finger on and can't describe about that woman that makes her special to him. Now, if sex is the big part of that relationship, there is a problem. The people that's involved in that relationship are misinformed as to what love is. North Carolina is signing out.
Elder Miller, thank you for calling. Oh. Brother Wade, we gotta call this a day. And I tell you, I have so many. Oh boy, I have so many more questions for you, Brother Wade. That's why I said for the children to leave the room, because I wanted to get into a few things that I felt like the children should be listening to. So I'm gonna, Brother Wade, I'm gonna ask you. If you want to show me some fingers, how much more of your time can I take to ask a couple more questions, if you will allow? And if you're not, then we got to call it a day. Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh boy, I tell you what, Brother Wade, this show is doing more than I thought it was gonna do. I'm just saying. I had to say it again. It's doing more than I thought it was gonna do. So listen, Brother Wade. Thank you, callers. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really do greatly appreciate y'all. I mean that on everything I love. Okay. Is there any types of sexual activity that is off limits to a husband and wife, Brother Wade?
Wow, that's a deep question right there. That's a good question, because people don't understand.
Well, let me.
Okay, go.
Let me interject this, and then maybe there's under a lot of religions, quote unquote, and like I said, I don't quote Bible scriptures or none of that, because I don't like to get that stuff wrong. So, but I've heard it being said that the marriage bed is undefiled. Okay, so that's why I'm asking that question. Is there certain activities that is off limits to a husband and wife, or is it just free reign, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat? Go for it, Brother Wade.
I'm glad you quoted that part right there, that verse right there, because Christianity has really abused that particular verse and say, look, if we can have a threesome, it's undefiled. Listen, if I want to do sodomy to you, that's when the man, want to go in places he shouldn't go inside of a woman's body. That is undefiled. Okay. That's not what that means. What undefiled means, marriage, because marriage is involving one man and one female. That is undefiled. That's what that means. Wherever the husband and the wife lay their head, that is undefiled. It is acceptable by the Heavenly Father that one husband and one wife be together. Everything else is uncivilized. If they want to bring in another male or female or animal, I don't know how they get down. They want to get, super, kinky like that. That's foolishness. Now you have just made that defiled. That's not a marriage, because it involves only two people. So I'm glad that you brought that out. And sodomy is basically, you know, when you hear somebody sodomizing, you know, that means that basically, you know, like I said, they should not be going inside of something that okay. All right. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yep. They shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't created for you know, for that reason.
Okay. All right. So, but all other activities, you know, is supposed to be okay for a husband and wife. I mean, I did ask for the children to leave the room, y'all. I don't know if somebody still got their little kids sitting around listening to us grown folks talk, you know. But anyway, oral sex is, you know, is I'm getting at that as well. So go. Can you tell me if all of these things are okay in a marriage or not?
Basically, you know, let me go ahead and say it. You know, whatever floats your boat. You know, I'm not the creator. I'm not the one that's setting all the rules and regulations as to how people should do their marriage. If they want to do S&M, you know, that's slave and master. If they want to, you know, if the man want to get slapped on and be dominated, if they want to dominate metrics, that's their thing. You know what I mean? If that's what y'all do behind closed, if you want to do handcuffs, you know, blindfold, hey, keep your business in the bedroom. Don't come on out and bring it on the Wylena show. You understand? Because the rubber gonna meet the road. So you know, whatever you do that. So I'm gonna put it out there on that note. So I don't want none of my disciples, you know, Brother Wade, I gotta talk to you because S&M is a good idea. Keep that in your bedroom.
Okay, Brother Wade. Well, if you bring it on the Wylena show, the rubber gonna meet the sheets. We're trying to keep the rubber on the road. That's what we're really trying to do here. You know, we're trying to keep the rubber meeting the road. We're trying to keep it off the sheets. Okay, but anyway, thank you for sharing that with us. And this is all based according to your teachings and your studies and that type of thing. We want to make sure that everybody understands that. Divorce, do you believe in it? Yes or no, Brother Wade? Yes or no? Do you believe in divorce?
No, absolutely not. The Father did not create marriage for divorce. No.
Okay. All right. So, with that being said, since you said no, is it okay? So it's okay for a woman or a man to stay in a marriage being physically abused by their spouse. Brother Wade?
All right, let's go to it. Now, the only way, according to Torah, according to the scripture, that you can divorce your mate is through adultery. You know, adultery means that the man has slept with a, you know, with a married woman, or if the married woman have slept with another man, that's adultery. Now, when it comes to, and you got to look at this physically or spiritually, because I feel that a man, if he constantly beats on his wife, that's adultery. And what I mean by that is that he has chosen the abuse to dominate the marriage. Do you understand what I'm saying? He has chose to be addicted to because you can't be addicted to abuse. You can't be addicted to drugs. You can't be addicted to alcohol. When this overtakes your marriage, you have committed adultery. The Father always had compared the idolatry of the children of Israel to be considered adultery. So I would not recommend a woman or man, because I've seen some men get abused too.
Yes,
they didn't get their foot kicked in some relationship.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah, that's exactly what I said about a man and either or can be abused, physically abused in a relationship. Yes, go ahead.
Absolutely. They need to run. They need to get up, because that's not love. Love is not supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be gentle. It's supposed to be kind. It's supposed to be, love is supposed to be, just this ultimate, form of affection between two people, and abuse is not it. Now, it's so funny because, it's not really funny, and I just want to add this, and then you can continue. I just want to add that people look at love in a different aspect. Some people do. Some people think that abuse is love. You know, some people may feel, okay, why you're not hitting me, you're not punching me. And that's because that person have not healed from their previous relationships, and they'll stay in that abusive relationship. So that's a whole different topic though.
Okay, so then, Brother Wade, so then we back to that's grounds for divorce, Brother Wade. Anyway, I'm not coming back to you right now. I just threw that out there at you. Okay, so we're talking about describe. I want to ask you to describe verbal abuse, Brother Wade.
Man, blah, 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 blah. You say things to hurt or to downplay or to emasculate. I've seen women say things to emasculate their husband, or a particular man can say things that will be hurtful or to degrade the woman. That's verbal abuse. And I feel verbal abuse is, man, I feel is worse to me than physical abuse.
Okay. Thank you for that, Brother Wade. Let's talk about mental abuse. Would you please describe mental abuse?
Mental abuse is basically playing tricks with the mind, you know, witchcraft, things of that nature. You can use verbal abuse to present a case of mental abuse, you know, and you can tie that in with psychological abuse as well. So mental is damaging to the mind. That's what mental abuse is. And people do things, whether it's physical or verbal, that can present mental abuse. It's a horrible disease.
Okay, so should a person stay? I mean, you know, you got all of these abuses. You got physical abuse, you got mental abuse, you got verbal abuse. And then you mentioned one that I hadn't thought about, and that was psychological abuse. So you got all these abuses, and then you have adultery, and you actually tied. I never heard anybody do it that way. You tied adultery into these abuses. So with all of those abuses being noted, and you find yourself in a marriage with one or two of these abuses, are you saying to me that that person does not have the sanctioning under the Most High Creator to get out, get a divorce?
That's a good question because, you know, once again, when you go to the law of Moses or to Torah, a man can divorce a woman for any reason. If she didn't even, you know, if he said, hey, look, I don't love her anymore, you know, you could bring forth a bill of divorce, you know, and that was only because the children of Israel at that time, they wanted that, you know, that out route. But when the Messiah came, you know, he stated that only adultery was the reason why a man can divorce a woman. A woman, watch this, in society has allowed the woman to divorce the husband, which is against Torah, which is against the beliefs that I have in you know, that's written in scripture. That goes against that because the man is supposed to do it. Now, you might have an abusive husband who would not grant you that divorce. You know, he want to continue to beat on you and to control you. You know, it's got to be at some point in which that particular, you know, woman has to, because if she continues to stay in, she could die. So, you know, this is the part where I was talking about the spirituality component of it. If that woman is so abused spiritually, you know, and like I said, psychologically and mental, she got to get out. And you have women who don't know how to get out of that. And as a result, I've had a friend who committed suicide at the age of 21 because she was married she was into a marriage and she was afraid to leave. And she took his gun and she basically, you know, put it against her temple and blew her brains out. So I was 20 years old. I didn't know how to handle that. You know what I mean? And I became an advocate, you know, for women who go through abuse. And that's why I wouldn't, you know, beat on, you know, my wife. So, you know, I feel that that woman needs to get out, because if she doesn't, you know, and ask the Father for forgiveness, I guess that's what grace is for, right? Father, I could not stay in that marriage. He was going to kill me. You know what I mean? So people, and Christianity tells you, oh, stay in the marriage. Oh, girl, it's okay. You must have said something that, you know, made him punch you in the eye. It's awful. It's awful to do that. Oh, you coming in with busted lips and your body is bruised, and the only thing you got to say is Jesus gonna work it out. That's unethical. You know what I mean? It's a sad thing,
right,
as to how people use religion to control people, especially women. Men uses religion all the time to control women, and I'm strictly against that. If that woman is going through it, you need to leave. If you that sane to say I gotta get out, get out.
okay, okay. All right, thank you for that, Brother Wade. Appreciate it. Okay, so look, we're wrapping this thing up here, but we need to get down here to the bottom of the line. And uh, would you say that a marriage is supposed to be between a man and a woman only, or two men or two women marriage?
If two men marry, they cannot procreate. If two women get together, they cannot procreate. Marriage was designed for one man who has the seed to impregnate the woman. And so society, once again, has accepted the fact that you could be transgender, you could be bisexual. Hey, I'm not judging that. But when it comes to my household, it's got to be one man, one female. You know, everything else goes against it goes against nature. And when it does, it goes against the Most High. He did not create you to be a man to be with another man, or he did not create a female to be with another female, because you cannot procreate. You cannot have children that way. So people try to, okay, well, let's adopt a child, and then they make it seem like it's okay. That's how society does. It sugarcoats unnatural things, and it makes it acceptable, to the point that those things that are done naturally, it looks unnatural, because once again, that's that thin line between fact and fiction.
Okay. Okay. Brother Wade, I'm trying to run them now. Okay. In-laws. How should your in-laws play in your marriage?
Stay out. You know, and that's one of the main concerns of marriage, is how the particular spouse can get along with that in-law. I think it's very important that the particular husband gets along with the wife's parents, and vice versa, but not to the point that they can control the household. When I was married, you know, in my previous marriage, I mean, her mother lived with us, and it wasn't because, you know, because she was sick or ill. She just wanted to stay in there. So out of the 18 months of marriage that we were married in, 15 of those 18 months, she was living with us. So that presented a big wedge, you know, in the marriage, to the point I couldn't take it no more. It was unbearable, you know. So I feel in-laws, you should go to them for advice. You know what I mean? But don't bring them into your household, and don't let them dictate what you should do. And I've seen plenty of marriages in which you had mama's boy, you know, he go back and tell his mother everything, or, you know, he take care of his mother more than he take care of his wife. That could be damaging to a marriage. So it's got to be some type of boundary with the in-laws.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Should people stay together for the sake of the children, Brother Wade?
I've seen marriages do it. I've seen people say, hey, look, we gonna take care of it for the kids. Some of them say, you know what? Okay, they grown. I want divorce. That's not good, because you're supposed to stay together forever, and you have a legacy. Your children are still watching you. So, you know, I've seen people who have stated that, when our children is out of the house, then we're going to get a divorce. But they ended up loving each other even more. So it kind of it kind of make them liars in a way, because they, you know, and I wouldn't say that, maybe they had a quote unquote change of heart, if you will, because, okay, I was going to get rid of you, but I've just grew to love you more, you know, and I don't want to leave. And then that's a beautiful thing. But I don't feel that a man should, or a woman should stay married, quote unquote, just for the sake of the children. It's bigger than that. What about your sake? And what about your husband or your wife's sake? That's why it's very imperative, before you get married, know who you are marrying. And a lot of people don't take that time to do that.
Okay. Okay. Do you believe that the family that prays together stays together, Brother Wade?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because there's that intimacy between man, woman, and the Most High. So when you do that, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when they could pray together. Or even, you know, you might have the husband praying in one room or the wife praying in another, you know, or, you know, hey, before you eat, you might want to bless the food, as they would say, or, you know, or even if you're going through an extreme trial and tribulation, the husband and the wife do need to get together, you know, and pray up to the Most High. So yeah, that's a very good question. Yes, they should.
Okay, Brother Wade, in closing, I would like for you to give us your closing thought. But in your closing thought, I would like for you to give us, from your teaching and your belief, your final recipe for a good, for keeping your marriage together. And your closing thought at the same time, please. Thank you.
All right, beautiful. And my closing thought, and first and foremost, thank you, Miss Wylena, for keeping me or having me on the show, and having the extended pleasure and the extended show version of marriage and relationships. I hope that each and every person that's watching this, that they will be able to learn how to, number one, how to love, not based on assumption or confusion, but more so not just lusting after your mate, whether you married them or you are going to meet your mate, but, you know, love them for who they are. Accept that, you know, you have to be able to tolerate who that person is, you know, whether it's your husband or your wife. When it comes to personality, accept, you know, your husband's or your wife's personality. Don't try to change them, but more so try to learn to understand them. Maintain not only the strengths of that, but also work on the weaknesses on the marriage. And there are plenty of things to, you know, to work on in marriage, because marriage itself, it is hard work and it is dedication, and it's about being honest and being loyal. Loyalty cannot be bought or sold, but loyalty has to be earned. And when it comes to marriage, we have to understand that we must continue to keep the functionality. The husband must keep his role as protector, provider, and the priest of the household. And the wife should be the nurturer and the reminder of the particular family. The woman is, or the wife is, the strength of the family. It doesn't mean that the man is not stronger. It means that the woman or the wife, when she cries, the children cry. The children pays more attention to mom than they do with dad. But that doesn't mean that the children doesn't pay attention to dad, because they're looking more at the particular, I wouldn't say strength, but more so they're looking at how dad handles things and how he sees what happens when the mom or wife, when she cries. Children really have to be taught from the womb to the tomb about marriage. The brother earlier, Elder Miller, was saying that a woman can teach a man, but a woman cannot teach a man how to be a man. She can try, but she cannot teach a man how to be a man, because she's not a man. And so this is what I'm talking about role reversals. Let that woman stay in her place as being a woman. Man, stay in your place as being the husband. Control your attitude. If you have anger issues, you know, maybe you need to discuss it, maybe with your pastor or with a marriage counselor. Work it out. You do not want to leave your marriage saying, I did not try my very best. You have to understand that trying is way better than quitting. Don't just throw the towel in. Please keep rumors out of your marriage, because when you go back and you tell your girlfriends, or, you know, you tell your homeboys, when you go and you tell them everything that's going on in your household, that presents danger. Please do not accept bad counsel. I have tried my very best to give the best counsel that I could on the Wylena Show. And please eliminate chaos and confusion. Brothers, please keep the feelings and the emotions to a minimum. Please do not go back to your wife whining, because a woman cannot respect a whining husband. Husbands, please do not tolerate with an angry and contentious woman. The word tells you that it is better for a man to be on the rooftop of a home than to be with an angry and contentious woman. All of this is to say this: learn how to be friends with one another before you can become husband and wife. And marriages are done, they are done traditionally or they're done non-traditionally. But the main point is this: do you love one another? Do you actually care? And would you die for your mate? That's the main thing about it. This is Renaldo Wade. I thank you so much for tuning into the Wylena Show. Those are my closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Brother Wade. You are greatly, greatly, immensely appreciated. Okay. I greatly appreciate the time that you've taken out, and even the extra time that you've taken out, the time that you took out to show up for the Wylena Show at the last minute, and then also the time that you've taken out to do extra time with this show today. Okay, and so I just want to say thanks again for everything. Listen, everybody, you don't want to miss our next show next week. We will have Dr. Richard Ruling on next week, and he will we'll have a bit of a talk with him about such as, if you believe there is a heaven, do you believe gay people will be there too? What does the preacher say? What does the gay person say? And what do you say? And on our last segment, we will also discuss Dr. Ruling's newly released book titled The Destruction of Jerusalem, a Sign for Us, or a Sign for US. I don't know which one he's talking about, but I guess when he get on the show, he'll tell us all about it. And I want to say thank you again to Brother Renaldo Wade. You can log on to my website. If you're on my website right now, you click on Brother Wade's picture, and that will take you to his Blog Talk Radio show, Talk, Teach, and Testify. And Brother Wade, would you like to tell the audience how to go about reaching you before we go, please?
Absolutely. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to my good sister, Miss Wylena. And you can reach me by emailing me at talkteachtestify@gmail.com. It's all lowercase, no spaces, no underscores. It's just talkteachtestify@gmail.com. I am on Blog Talk Radio from on Fridays and on Sundays from 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. It might be 9 o'clock a.m. out there where Miss Wylena is in Las Vegas, Pacific Standard Time. You can call in at area code 515-605-9874. I do a lot of teachings and instructions pertaining to the word of the Most High. And I also have a Babylonian report that is done on each and every Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same number, 515-605-9874. And on Mondays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do have a show called The Voice for the Voiceless. We do activism, and I speak with people all over the country as to how they are using their trials and their tribulations to be activists in that same field. So you can call in on Mondays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the number, once again, is 515-605-9874. If you'd like to contact me, if you have questions, comments, or concerns about what was said on the Miss Wylena Show, from my perspective, you can email me once again at talkteachtestify@gmail.com.
All righty, y'all. Y'all know what I always say. If I gotta say it again, y'all know what I always say. Study for yourself. You owe it to you to study for yourself. Don't wait for the person up front to tell you everything you think you need to know. Get in those books, get in the Bible, get on the internet, get in your studies, and study for yourself. Y'all know who I am. I'm Wylena, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel, and y'all know what show this is. This is the Wylena Show, and this is where the rubber meets the road. We'll see you next week.